I told my supervisor that coworkers' comment about my weight made me upset. I work at this insurance office downtown where everyone seems to think they're a comedian. I've always been naturally skinny, not by choice, just genetics. I eat like a normal person, but my body just burns through calories fast. For the past 6 months, my coworkers have been making nonstop comments about my weight. Every single day, someone has something to say. When I eat lunch, Jessica goes, "Wow, where do you put all that food?" When I'm tired, Mark jokes, "Maybe you'd have more energy if you actually ate something." The worst one is Linda from accounting. She's always making these backhanded comments like, "I wish I had your problem," or "Some of us can't just eat whatever we want." Yesterday, she actually said, "You look like you need a sandwich," right in front of our biggest client. I tried laughing it off at first because I didn't want to seem sensitive, but it got to the point where I dreaded coming to work. Every conversation somehow turned into a discussion about my body. I couldn't grab a snack without someone commenting. I couldn't wear certain clothes without getting remarks about how tiny I looked. The breaking point came last Tuesday during our team meeting. We were discussing quarterly goals when Linda interrupted and said, "Speaking of goals, maybe we should set one for getting some meat on these bones," while pointing at me. Everyone laughed like it was the funniest thing ever. I felt my face turn red. I mumbled something about needing to use the bathroom and left the conference room. I sat in the bathroom stall for 10 minutes trying not to cry. These people made me feel like a freak for existing in my own body. That afternoon, I knocked on my supervisor Rachel's office door. She could tell something was wrong and asked me to sit down. I explained everything, the daily comments, how uncomfortable it made me, and how it was affecting my work performance. Rachel looked shocked. She said she had no idea it was happening and asked why I hadn't come to her sooner. I told her I wasn't sure if weight comments counted as harassment since everyone acts like it's just harmless teasing. She shook her head and said, "Comments about anyone's body are not appropriate in the workplace, period. This needs to stop immediately." The next morning, Rachel called a mandatory meeting for our entire department. She stood at the front of the room and laid down the law about workplace harassment. She said comments about anyone's appearance, weight, or eating habits were strictly prohibited and would result in disciplinary action. You could see people shifting uncomfortably in their chairs. Linda looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. Mark was suddenly very interested in his coffee cup. Rachel didn't call anyone out by name, but she made it crystal clear that this behavior had been reported and would not be tolerated moving forward. She said our office should be a professional environment where everyone feels respected and comfortable. After the meeting, Linda actually came up to me and apologized. She said she never realized her comments were hurtful and that she was just trying to be friendly. Jessica and Mark apologized too, though they seemed more embarrassed than genuine. The best part? The comments stopped completely. Not just the mean ones, but all of them. People started treating me like a normal person instead of walking entertainment. I could eat lunch in peace, wear whatever I wanted, and actually focus on my job. 2 weeks later, we got a new employee named Katie. On her second day, I heard Mark start to make a comment about her curly hair. He caught himself mid-sentence and just said, "Nice to meet you," instead. Rachel pulled me aside last Friday and thanked me for speaking up. She said she's implementing sensitivity training for the whole company because apparently this was happening in other departments too. She also said I handled the situation professionally, and she was proud of me for advocating for myself. Now when people ask me how I stay so skinny, I just smile and change the subject. But at least now I don't have to deal with it at work anymore.